Hi, strangeness happening around here again, folks. I let Merlin out tonight. It was minus 15 degrees Celsius, so whenever I let him out I either crack the window open so he can jump back in or leave the heavy door open so he can get in using the cat flap. He came in, I shut the door, he meowed at me to feed him, I said no because he's had enough already tonight, and I went back to my videos. A minute later I hear meowing at the front door. I'm being prompted to go open the door, and there is Merlin, again. I hadn't let him out, but there he was outside again. If I had let him out, like I said, I'd have left the big door open so he can let himself back in. I get stuff like that happening, especially with him. I pass by him downstairs and end up seeing him as soon as I turn the corner on the upper floor again. Like there's two of him. I believe this is about changing timelines. How to tell when someone is trying to manipulate you. To thine own self be true. Since this is coming up in current events. They outright lie, this is why we have to research facts these days. Being informed helps you make the right decisions. Everyone should be subject to proving themselves to you, everyone feeding you information right now should be vetted to the best of your ability. They try to change your perspective on something using any number of techniques. Such as they kiss your ass and flatter you, they try to ingratiate themselves with you. They use this flattery in order to change your opinion. They tell you you're great, and they're your humble servant and other things like that. They make themselves out to be a victim, they attacked me mercilessly and now I appeal to you for salvation, this is victim/rescuer/perpetrator. Or they go the other extreme and withhold their approval of you in order to get you to try to suck up to them. Don't do it. Walk away. They use your fear of their anger to make you submit to their will. They tell you your reality is wrong and that they know your truth so you should listen to them. If you do something for someone and you sense that that's the reason they like you, not because they enjoy who you are but because you once lent them $50 and they're keeping you around until the next time they're short. That's manipulation. You hang around someone who thinks they're hot stuff. They're manipulating you into giving them your energy. Don't fall for that. You know people who constantly want your help and refuse to stand on their own 2 feet. They fall on you continuously for support but never give anything back or take responsibility for themselves. They're not transparent. Not that I believe that partners should disclose every minute of every day they were away from their partners, but look out for the potential partner who spends time away from you but won't talk about what they were doing. Look for people who want to hear what you were doing but are extremely private and won't divulge their own activities. And yes, I learned this while dating. Long ago. People who have too much privacy and don't disclose when building a relationship is completely about disclosure have other agendas and they're manipulating you. They tell you what they think you want to hear instead of allowing you to rely upon your own perceptions to build trust. They try to make you feel guilty for having your own opinion. For that matter, they try to make you feel guilty for anything that doesn't jive with their way of seeing things. This type of response was recently used by someone who came to the defense of someone else who was accused of being DS. I was not impressed. By the way, if anyone ever tries to defend my honor by making others feel guilty for not believing in me, those are friends I don't want to have and don't feel guilty for thinking what you're thinking. The manipulator will try to make you feel insecure and fearful. Off balance in this way, you'll more readily fall prey to their manipulations. Examples of this you can see in the news all the time. This is why everything is presented to us as a wonderful new innovation that will improve our lives, because if we don't go along with it, then we must be crazy, right? Always look at what's implied in the manipulator's statements. Someone who segregates people into groups in their life, groups that never meet. If your friend doesn't want you to meet their other friends, find out why. Their only defense against your accusations of them is to judge you rather than state facts. You see this all the time in political debating. Just mudslinging, nothing else. That's because that's all they have, mud, not integrity. I saw this with one person who was defending another person he believes should be highly revered. He did not state facts that would reinstate this man's worthiness to me, he slung shit at the person who had called him out. That was enough for me. All he could say is, he is a nice man. I don't allow someone to head up my freedom movement just on the merits of them being nice. A lot of people are nice, I want to know how capable he is and how much integrity he has and that he's not a dark cat. I didn't hear that. A manipulator will take credit for everything that others teach them and call it their own. They take information from others without ever giving the others any credit for having taught them. This is because manipulators are insecure and they are trying to do everything they can to look the part they are trying to play, while authentic people are not scared to share their sources and give credit where it is due. In terms of the current situation I'm thinking about, how could I tell that the person in question is trying to manipulate me? He would become part of my group without proving himself as being worthy of that role. He would use his credentials or a position in life as his calling card to enter the group without question. It's like if I had a group of truthers and then a cop wanted to get in on the group, so we just let them in because they're a cop. They understand that their credentials would make the group look good, so they take no opportunity to prove themselves to anyone in the group, and perhaps the group doesn't ask them to either, which is pretty scary. He would take charge of my group or my movement just on the basis of his authority. Again, without having been asked to or having proven himself to anyone, or worse, the group just gave him this authority because he is who he is. This is the problem with people who are not sovereign. They give away their self-authority to someone they feel is capable of leading them. They become followers. Humans aren't followers. They're all leaders and cooperators. They become incensed or offended when asked to prove themselves to the group. They spend their time defending their honor against attacks rather than sticking to the original agenda of the group. It's about where their focus is. Are they afraid of being exposed, or are they more interested in the goals of the group? In this way, the P movement can be infiltrated easily if people aren't on their guard. There are many ways to tell if someone is manipulating you. One of them is that little feeling you get in your gut that says, hold on now. Just a sec. It's saying, take note of this because something's not right. Follow that little voice and back it up with research. The other way to tell is to watch a news broadcast. In the end, does that mean that everyone who uses these techniques is a manipulator? No, it doesn't. Some people have never learned a better method of communicating with others that makes them appear more authentic. Remember, everyone in our Western Matrix world has learned to lie, cheat, and manipulate because we are born into the Matrix, and that's the way the Matrix communicates. One of these days, and I hope it shows up in this movement now, people will begin to listen to their fellow man rather than automatically trusting authority. I believe this is a movement that will empower the people and disempower authority, ultimately.